the Wired article came out yesterday. I covered it obviously on the stream. It's a big controversy, and in the Wired article, they actually don't even talk about like America. That's another like Democrat Party affiliated group that's like.
As somebody that's a part of America, we are not a part of the DNC. We're not a part of the Democratic. Nothing. Z literally did an interview where she addressed the fact that we don't have any affiliation with the DNC. And the fact that he said, well, they didn't mention it, maybe it's because we're not affiliated with the DNC. And Taylor would have been wrong times two if she did post about America in that article. But again, why are you so comfortable saying this and you don't have the facts of the matter? There's there's a lot of drama going on with an article by Taylor Lorenz. And for those that don't know, Taylor Lorenz is a journalist who, you know, she's a pretty big, like, she's a leftist. And she has pretty strange, funny takes. And we're not gonna read this entire article. We're gonna get more info as we go. It's pretty lengthy. You know, and I know everybody gonna want to hear my voice just read for that long. But pretty much she's trying to, a dark money group is secretly funding high-profile Democratic influencers. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it a secret and agree to the restrictions on their content. So I think anybody that reads this would think like, wow, so the Democrats are paying people to tell them what they can and cannot say to basically boost their image. Basically like the Russian propaganda for Trump. What the Russians were doing. And believe it or not, let's just read it. In a private group chat in June, dozens of Democratic political influencers discussed whether to take advantage of an enticing opportunity. They were being offered $8,000 a month to take part in a secretive program aimed at bolstering Democratic messaging on the internet. But the contract sent to them from Chorus, the nonprofit arm of a liberal influencer marketing platform, came with some strings, among other issues. It mandated extensive secrecy about disclosing their payments and had restrictions on what sort of political content the creators could produce. In their group chat, influencers debated the details. Should we send a joint email with all of our email addresses, or are we just going to send things separately and hope they change for everyone? Lorenzo, a non-binary creator in Columbus, Ohio, with over 884,000 TikTok followers, asked the group. Some joked about collective bargaining. Any Newsies fans here? Eliza Orleans, a public defender and reality TV star known for appearances on Survivor, posted in the group chat, "We're a union," just by saying so. Now, you tell me if those quotes mean anything to you. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know how that's relevant to her saying what they can and cannot say and stuff like that, or disclosing payments. I don't know the relevance. The influencers in the chat collectively had at least 13 million followers across social platforms. They represented some of the most well-known voices online, posting in support of Democrats, and they're key to wherever the party moves next. But ultimately, the group didn't make much progress. Reading through this revised Chorus contract, like, you win some, you lose some, a reproductive justice influencer named Perry, whose posts under the handle Women in America, responded later in the thread. I also think there's at least 4 other things that that should change, but the vibe I got from the email was that there would be minimal, if any, changes. Lorenzo, Orleans, and Perry did not reply to requests for comment. I don't feel strongly about pushing, to be honest. Aaron Parnes, a Gen Z news influencer who has been called the Gen Z Walter Cronkite and has been lauded in legacy media outlets, posted to the chat. They aren't going to modify it anymore. It seems like a take it or leave it. Parnes declined to comment. I believe we are in a stage 5 acceptance. Perry responded. Creators began signing on for the deal. For years, Democrats have struggled to work with influencers. In 2024, President Joe Biden's White House snubbed several prominent content creators after they lightly criticized the administration over its policies on climate change, COVID, Gaza, and the TikTok ban. Content creators who challenged Kamala Harris, including Hassan Piker, a well-known influencer on the left, were similarly unwelcome at campaign events. Imagine not inviting Hassan to a campaign event while he doesn't support Kamala Harris. That makes all of the sense in the world. That makes so much sense. I don't support the candidate, but I'm gonna invite. They don't support the candidate, but let's invite them to our campaign events. Yeah, that makes all of the sense. Like I said, she's a far leftist. Hassan is a fucking tanky. Go figure. After the Democrats lost in November, they faced a reckoning. It was clear that the party had failed to successfully navigate the new media landscape. White Republicans spent decades building a powerful and robust independent media infrastructure, maximizing controversy to drive attention and maintaining tight relationships with creators despite their small disagreements with Trump. The Democrats have largely relied on outdated strategies and traditional media to get their message out. So, where's the section where she names? Okay. So basically, this is a lot. Some of the people involved with this, two people y'all might know is Brian Tyler Cohen. He's the co-founder, I believe, and David Pakman's a part of this. I don't know if you know Too Real, Too Raw on TikTok. He's part of this. Lauren Peretra. I don't know these. Olivia Juliana. I don't know all of these people, but I know the first two you guys probably know. But nonetheless, Taylor Lorenz is basically saying that there are creators like Brian Tyler Cohen, David Pakman, who are not doing content for themselves, but doing the content that this dark money organization is paying them to say. So let's hear some of their responses to this. Let's listen to what David Pakman has to say about
All right,
this.
I was not even going to talk about this because I hate participating in the drama. I hate the circular firing squad that often builds on the left. But it's really important that my audience know what's going on. So I
Circular firing squad, absolutely.
am going to talk about it. I was named in an article in Wired yesterday. And the article is about a so-called dark money group on the left called Chorus. And I'm named in the article along with other creators as being part of the group. And since this article came out, I've heard from a bunch of you. David, did you sell out? David, is the DNC telling you what to say? How could you do this to us? I knew back in 2021 when you had the following to say that you must have been getting paid by someone, and here's the proof. And I was not even going to give this the time of day, but my relationship with you, my actual audience, is the most important thing. And so I decided to do this segment. I also was told that other creators, like a Twitch streamer named Hassan Piker, were covering this in ways that don't reflect the reality of the situation and are perpetuating falsehoods about what is and isn't going on. Now, I can't speak to the motives of the people that wrote the article or those that are reacting to it. I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on. And then you can judge and you can make an assessment of me. Now, I also want to mention, I'm aware that many of the people I'm hearing of aren't even part of my audience. They're doing the, well, now I'm unsubscribing, and they mostly were never subscribed. And so I'm aware of that, but it doesn't matter because I want to make sure my audience hears from me about this. Now, the most important thing to say is that the idea behind this group is exactly what I've been advocating for years. It's for years I've been saying the left needs to organize independent media in the way that the right has been doing. The left needs to fund independent creators the way that the right does. The right has...
And that's all this program is. She's calling it a dark money organization. And they have a website with their creators on it as if this is some huge secret and saying nobody should talk about it. We are Chorus. Chorus is a creator-led nonprofit organization dedicated to helping content creators expand their reach and educate their audience about news and public policy issues that impact their lives. Chorus is recruiting, training, and supporting independent online voices and building the next era for online news and conversation. None of this, and they have a picture of everybody involved. I forgot this woman's name on the left. I think I seen her on CNN. I like her. She's cool. This is Too Real, Too Raw, the second guy. Down here, I think his name is Jake Coachella or something like that. Those, and then you got Brian Tyler Cohen on the top far right. It's like it's literally investing in people that are putting out the same message you want to put out to help us get into office and make policy. They want people that are left leaning, making content, and using content creation to spread the message that they want to spread. And let them tell it. There's no direction of what they have to do and say. But Taylor Lorenz is so fucking brain rotted that she thinks that they're getting paid to say and not say things, instead of realizing this is the mechanisms that the right use to have their voices be everywhere, to get these small-time people in big-time spaces. And now we're trying, yes, it sucks to admit that your enemies had this better strategy, but it fucking works. And if we don't get with the program, we're going to get left. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Chorus, for investing in people that believe in what you believe and giving them a bigger voice to be heard and a platform to do what they do. Thank you, because that's exactly what the fuck needs to happen. Otherwise, we're going to get J.D. Vance in 2028.
Won even arguably presidential elections because they're organized with regard to online and independent media. They're killing us. We've been so behind. And this kind of support for creators is exactly what I've been advocating for. Now, the article is riddled with inaccuracies, and they're not minor inaccuracies. First and foremost, this group has nothing to do with the DNC. People writing saying, the Democratic Party is telling people what to say. At its base, the group has nothing to do with the DNC, period. Number two, I do not get clearance for anything I say. I do not run interview questions by anyone at Chorus. I don't tell Chorus when I'm going to be doing an interview. Not a single segment I have done, not a single question I've ever asked a guest has anything to do with Chorus. They don't tell me what to talk about. They don't tell me who to interview. They don't tell me how to cover a story. There are no restrictions of any kind on my content. I've never covered a story because Chorus suggested I do it. I've never not covered a story because Chorus suggested I not do it. There is no content relationship of any kind. So what does Chorus do? They run technical trainings, how to produce content, how to make your operation more efficient. How do you take a small shop of 1, 2, or 3 people and put content out on multiple platforms the way I've been doing successfully for decades? They set up mentorship relationships between larger creators like me and small up-and-coming creators who are looking to do content.
Like, can you imagine David Pakman, like, mentoring? How many subs David got? David got 3.31 million subs, bro. Imagine him mentoring somebody with, like me, somebody with 5,000 subs, with traction, 10,000 subs, with traction, spreading a message, got good content. Like, why wouldn't you set up something like this? And this woman who claims to be on the left decides to throw them into the fire and say, look, they're getting paid by the DNC and there's no affiliation, nor does this program have anything to do with the DNC. It ain't even necessarily directly pointing to have a political ideology. Yes, we're probably not going to invest. They're not going to invest in anybody that doesn't believe what they believe in. But if they spot you and it's like, oh, well, you already say this, just like I feel the same way, just like with that Ted Cruz and who was it? Was it Tucker Carlson, that interview where he was trying to act like it's just so impossible that, no, was it, who the fuck did Ted Cruz talk to? Was it Tucker? I guess so. Where he was trying to act like, no. Where AIPAC funds him. I don't know who it was. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Where he was acting like it was just unreasonable to believe that Ted Cruz was getting sponsored by AIPAC because he already believed in him, so they reached out to him. That makes all of the sense in the world. If somebody already believes in you and agrees with what you believe in, those are the people you're going to go to. How do you think these sponsorships work that same way? If somebody has a channel based on fashion, obviously a business that sells clothes and that maybe style of clothing, if you wear urban wear and you have a brand of wearing urban clothes, they're gonna be like, hey, you wear these type of clothes, I think we could work together. You know, you're not gonna get somebody that dresses to the nines and wear suits and ties all the time and always look like they're going to a wedding to ask them to advertise your streetwear. You're probably not going to do that. I'm not saying you can't, but you're probably not going to do that. So it's just, I don't know why people act like it's unreasonable to work with people that have the same ideologies as you. I would think that's the easiest thing to put 2 and 2 together.
Which is something I've said for years we need to be doing. They do advocacy.
I'm watching that one next, Roshan.
They do media trainings. How do you deal with adversarial media? Reporters with bad intentions who contact you. They do legal training. So
TJ, I do think that Brian and Pac-Man are very informative, but yes, I think they do lack personalities that make you want to stick with them. I like David Pac-Man. I like Brian too. I actually like both of them. But you're right. Like, it's not like that person, they so, you do want that entertainment level, but then I just don't want these people to have to be like liars like Charlie Kirk and Alex Jones and shit. They got a bunch of personality, but they fucking liars. So it's just, it's hard. But then you got people like Destiny where everybody wants to worry about his sex life instead of how fucking smart he is and how he can demolish anybody talking points. They want to get mad at him because of his fucking personal life. It's just, it's weird. He's a different type of content creator. Yes, he's not like the informative guy. I mean, as far as the professional informative guy, I should say. But Mehdi Hassan, though, is very entertaining. I will say Mehdi is pretty entertaining without being like a Destiny. Wajaha, he alright, but I like Wajaha, but sometimes he'll speak out of place sometimes. That's my problem. I don't know who Danielle Moody is. I like Jessica Tarlov. I like Jessica Tarlov too. She's good.
We understand, how is the right-wing machine potentially going to come after us? How do you organize your business to be protected? That's what they do. And I want to make this really clear, and I know that 99% of my actual audience knows this. If this was a group or an organization that required me to get permission before saying things, or fed me talking points, or told me, David, talk about this and not about that, or anything like that, I would never be part of it, period.
And I don't think most people would do something like that. Now, I'm not going to say it's never been done before, but I don't think most people would do that. Imagine you have a page or a channel that you talk about dogs, and then the organization approaches you like, yeah, you can't really talk about dogs no more. We don't want you to talk about that. We want you to talk about wolves. It's like, it's adjacent, but it's not what I talk about. So I don't think that it's not reasonable to think that somebody is being paid to, even with Tim Pool and them and the Tenet Media stuff, they were being paid to just do the shit that they was already doing. As much as Tim tried to act like nothing happened, I don't know what you're talking about. Tim Pool tried to act like the whole shit didn't happen because he don't want to look like he was complicit. Even though I think in the back of his mind, he knew some shit was funny, but that money was too good. But nobody was asking you to do nothing different than what you was doing. You was doing Russian propaganda on your own volition. They said, hey, let's fund these people so we can make sure they could keep saying this shit. Nobody told you what to say. You was already saying it, bro. So
anyone who knows me would know that. Now, I'm one of the larger creators in the current cohort. I want to help others grow. I want to mentor people. I want to grow the left media space. That's something I've been advocating for years. Mm-hmm. And now the circular firing squad is getting going. You look at TikTok, you look at these different platforms, people going after each other, most of it based on misunderstandings or misreporting about what's happening. Now, let me go to another aspect of this. I've seen messages like, oh, David, when you said X in 2024, that must have been because they told you to. Oh, David, this explains your take on Bolivia from 2017. Now I get why you said that.
Not 2017.
When you did that interview in 2022, it must have been because Chorus told you to. Even if you wrongly believed that I was now completely compromised by my participation in this group, this thing is brand new. It's like 8 weeks old or something like that, maybe 10 weeks old, something like this. So the revisionism of going back and going, now I understand why David. Not only are they not directing content today, this thing is brand new. So that's just like impossible. One other thing I want to mention. The article identifies my friend Brian Tyler Cohen as the co-founder of this group. And now he's being attacked as well. His motives being impugned. Brian worked on this as a volunteer. He has spent hundreds of hours for not a penny on this project, solely because he, like me, believes we need this type of organization on the left. They're killing us on the right.
That's deep.
He doesn't need to be doing this for himself. He's trying to do this to build up left-wing content creators, as am I. And so the framing of Brian as some kind of villain in this entire thing, it's just farcical and pathetic. So the bottom line is we need more of this on the left, not less. We need more organization and infrastructure and people understanding, how do you build a content machine? How do you produce a podcast? How do you grow an audience? How do you distribute it? How do you organize your day? What's your YouTube setup like? The article is designed to attack and degrade. I can't speak to the motives of the people behind it, so I won't even speculate. My involvement is as I've described it here. There's nothing more and there's nothing less. It's up to you to decide whether you trust a particular creator. It's up to you to decide what sort of structural organization the left should pursue. But what I can tell you is that the circular firing squad is how the left loses, when we start turning each other over what at the end of the day. So I'm sick of the losing. I'm trying to win.
Right.
Join me if you also are trying to win. And then maybe we can.
Like you said, niggas is sick of losing, bro. Like, it's that simple. It's that simple. Let's see what Brian had to say.
At the risk of
about
giving
this.
an internet troll more attention, I want to address a piece that Taylor Lorenz wrote yesterday for Wired. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it secret and agree to restrictions on their content. Literally nothing in this statement is true. The article is about Chorus, which is a nonprofit that I helped found to build up a creator ecosystem, which everybody says they want, but few are doing. So here's what Chorus is. It is a scholarship program to teach creators how to grow their accounts, foster engagement, launch their own shows, and become profitable on their own. It's an incubator program to build the pro-democracy ecosystem. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The right has been doing this for years, and the left needs to catch up. That's why we're doing this with Chorus. So let's talk about what Chorus is and what it's not. Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, it does not control who they talk to or work with, and there is absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do. Period. Full stop. I don't know a single creator who would willfully sign up for a program that would tell them what they can or can't say. That's not what this program is. We pay people to show up to workshops and technical trainings to optimize their content online. For example, we've got trainings on how to package content for YouTube, trainings on how to optimize audience retention for Instagram and TikTok, trainings on how to form an LLC. Again, there are zero restrictions on their content. And by the way, the program works. In just 2 months, our cohort has added a combined 6 million followers. That's not including me. And seeing their views.
I need to sign up, boy. Let me sign up. What?
Views and engagement grow. That is the point of the program, to teach creators how to be effective with whatever messages they want to promote. And with regard to keeping it a secret, there is a standard confidentiality clause in the contract to protect the privacy of the creators. On the literal first day of the program, it was made clear to all of the creators in our kickoff session that they were absolutely free to talk about Chorus. And we immediately followed up to confirm that in writing. Creators have videos about Chorus. They've got donation links to Chorus in their bios. I myself have made videos that were posted all over the internet about Chorus that reached hundreds of thousands of people. It is not.
That's crazy. Like, to make a whole article and say, like, this is, you long as you can keep it a secret, and one of the co-founders has talked about it, is hilarious.
Not a secret, and it never was. There's the implication in the article that this is some arm of the DNC, or the Democratic Party. We have literally nothing to do with the DNC. I spend 0 minutes of my day thinking about the DNC. The creators do not toe any party line. How could we? There isn't a party line. Creators are absolutely allowed to speak out against the Democrats, and in fact, plenty do. And frankly, Chorus creators should and do criticize Democrats when they suck, and quite often, they do suck. I've seen posts saying that this is APAC funded, which couldn't be further from the truth. I venture to guess
it's always APAC, because they have to make sure APAC is mentioned in anything that's on the left. Anything that happens is like, yeah, APAC funded, APAC funded. If you support Democrats, you getting that money from APAC. Y'all see, I make a video about Candace Owens. They be like, oh, you Israel shield, how much are they paying you? I'm like, bro, I don't even talk about that shit. I'm so not the guy to go to talk about Israel Palestine, like, at all.
Most Chorus creators, myself included, on both YouTube and Substack, have spoken out against the atrocities in Gaza. Lorenz says that the 1630 Fund is, quote, a powerful liberal dark money group. 1630 Fund is our fiscal sponsor. One of the largest documented donors to 1630 Fund is the same person funding Meteor's Reporters in Residence program, which Taylor Lorenz herself is a part of. And guess what her monthly stipend is? $8,000 per month. So she's criticizing an entity that is funded by someone that she is currently taking money from. I guess it's okay when Taylor Lorenz gets paid, but no one else. The monthly stipend that we offer is so that creators can do this work full time. We've had numerous creators in the cohort quit their jobs so they can focus on creating content full time. That is what we want.
Hey, bro, Brian, what do I sign up, man? You said you had people quit their job full time so they can make, what What?
Or quit their jobs so that creators can do this work full time. We've had numerous creators in the cohort quit their jobs so they can focus on creating content full time. That is what we want. I'm really proud that we can
That's what you want. That's what I need, my boy. That's what I need.
creators that security as long as
Let
they're in
me
the program.
sign up.
We want people to create pro-democracy content full time, and we want to make sure that they can afford to pay their rent and their bills while doing it. If I could have cohorts with 1,000 people in it so that everybody could be part of the program, I would. For everybody saying that they would like to be part of the next cohort, we would love for you to apply. That's our whole goal. It's to build up an army of pro-democracy content creators who can speak authentically about the issues that they care about and be able to do it as effectively as possible. I should note that while I started this program, I have never and will never get paid. I do this 100% as a volunteer. I have never earned a dime from Chorus, and I never will. I want every dollar that...
So my assumption is that the people on that website is probably the mentors, because those are some of those faces I recognize, and they're pretty big. And like Brian doesn't need any help building a platform. So I'm assuming those are the people that probably mentor everyone, and they're investing in other smaller people at that point. Because like that Jack Coachella guy, he got like over 1 million, 2 million subs too. So I guess those are all the mentors, and everybody else is probably really small creators that they're trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Build their platforms
that we raise to go to creators so that they can do this important work without spending 8 hours a day working at some different job. I've been saying for years that the left needs to build up its creator space. That has never been more true than it is right now. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The left is a decade behind right now. We desperately need incubators teaching and amplifying new content creators, and not just Chorus, by the way. There are other programs in the space doing the same thing. I want all of them to succeed. We need all of them to succeed. There are people like Taylor Lorenz who are desperate to tear the left apart, and in fact, it becomes clear who her efforts help when you hear stuff like this.
Genuinely, I kind of like Taylor Lorenz because I know that she actually believes what she says. You get what I'm saying?
So yeah, I generally don't align myself with friends.
That was extremely petty, but dealing with somebody like with Taylor, you kind of have to. That was really petty, but like I said, with Taylor, I can't even be mad. She said the reason I like Taylor Lorenz is because I don't want Candace Owens agreeing with me with shit except that we both breathe air. Like, I don't want to agree with Candace Owens for shit, bro.
Of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. I continue to believe that the left needs massive investments into the independent media space. I'm really proud of the program that we've built. I'm really proud that we've allowed creators to do this work full time. I'm really proud of the independence that they have to say whatever they want to say in whatever way they want to say it. I'm really proud that our creators are seeing their channels and their pages grow. My goal is to see an army emerge from the left to take on what's happening on the right. Taylor Lorenz and Republicans don't want to see it, but we do. If you also want to get in the fight, apply to the program at wearechorus.org.
Well, there's the info. So, y'all, hopefully your boy get picked, because that sounds
At the risk of
perfect.
getting an internet troll more attention,
Oh, man, that shit just lit my world up. Jesus Christ. So, when did he post that? That was the 28th, 19 hours ago. I saw somebody post that Wired is officially starting to retract and change parts of Taylor Lorenz's article. Let's see what they say. How embarrassing. Following the publication of this article, Graham Wilson of the Elias Law Group, whose participation in the Zoom call was reported upon and who did not respond to Wired's pre-publication email request and comment, reached out to Wired on several points. These include whether members of the cohort can publicly talk about working with Chorus and Chorus's connection to good influence, both of which Wired has clarified. We have also included comment from Wilson regarding Chorus placing restrictions on content and whether V. Spahar was included in any Chorus material. So clearly they have to go back and fix some things, because Taylor Lorenz put out this article without having her ducks in a fucking row. And wait, I just saw this on the side. Let's see.
The point is that none of them disclosed to this article. The point is that none of them disclosed that they were receiving money from a dark money group, the 1630 Fund. None of them have ever disclosed, as far as I've ever seen, their relationship with the 1630 Fund. And that is the crux of it. Chorus is just the middleman. They're just running the program. The 1630 Fund is the powerful dark money group that is funding this effort. And so...
Do you know what's just so crazy about this, Tay-Tay? We haven't seen your financial disclosure about accepting money from this exact same fund, the 1630 Fund, which funds your cohort that you are accepting, get this, audience, $8,000 a month from. Isn't that fucking crazy? Here it is, right here. This is the place that pays you $1630. That's you accepting dark money, right? I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding, right? I'm just a massive fuck. We're all just so dumb that we just fucking missed this. It's almost like you as a creator were not privy to every single financial line item of the people paying you. It's almost as if Taylor, I've hesitated to make this fucking video because the material harm that this is doing, this dumb dick conversation, but it is worth mentioning that this dark money that you are rallying so hard against also funds climate change orgs and voter rights organizations and abortion rights protections. And also, not for nothing, reporter residencies of which you are a beneficiary, Taylor. Sorry, we're just gonna need that disclosure whenever you get a chance, okay?
Yeah, it's super easy to be like, you guys are getting paid from this, and you don't even know what's happening. Like, bro, like, you're so full of shit. Like, you're getting paid. You're doing damn near the same thing, and you made a whole article on a new. Maybe it's because she wants to be the only sheriff in town or something, I guess. But holy fuck, how are you doing something similar, getting paid from the same people, and you're trying to shit on their efforts? You know, a lot of people that align with Taylor, it's like, you know, they're still on the whole Gaza situation, and if you don't agree with them, then you don't really believe in left ideologies, I guess. It's just, I don't know what it is about this situation that has people losing their minds, that you have to agree on this situation or else you don't align with them whatsoever. I just, it's mind-boggling. I don't know if hold on, we might have a little bit more time. Wanted to see a little bit of what Hassan did. I want to get into a little bit of Hassan's coverage, because it's fucking Hassan.
We were going to start off with obviously some drama, a little bit of drama. The Wired article came out yesterday. I covered it obviously on the stream. It's a big controversy. And in the Wired article, they actually don't even talk about like Unfuck America. That's another like Democrat Party affiliated group that's like...
As somebody that's a part of Unfuck America, we are not a part of the DNC. We're not a part of the Democratic. Nothing. Z literally did an interview where she addressed the fact that we don't have any affiliation with the DNC. And the fact that he said, well, they didn't mention it, maybe it's because we're not affiliated with the DNC, and Taylor would have been wrong times two if she did post about Unfuck America in that article. But again, why are you so comfortable saying this shit and you don't have the facts of the matter?
Party to do is we want to have them to start investing in these movements.
Is the DNC supporting this?
No, not currently.
Why not?
If Ken Martin's watching this, text me back.
Like, that's insane to me.
Getting TikTokers to go all around and do like the Unfuck America tour or whatever. But apparently the person who runs it, who is like super pro-Destiny, came after me and said, Hassan the Hunt, bitch, please, you're not about to try and out-progressive me while you were sitting on your stream. I'm getting progressives elected, stay mad. Oh, FYI, I used to work at TYT.
Hassan was just criticizing her the other day. Shout out to Z. He was just talking about her the other day. Why did he say super pro-Destiny as if he doesn't know that she's like in charge of Unfuck America?
And do like the Unfuck America tour or whatever. But apparently the person who runs it, who is like super pro-Destiny, came after me and said, Hassan the Hunt, bitch, please, you're not about to try and out-progressive me while you were sitting on your ass streaming. I'm getting progressives elected, stay mad. Oh, FYI, I used to work at TYT. My NDA recently expired. Not sure what that second part means because I haven't worked at TYT for years. I didn't even know this person worked at TYT as well. But this, I think, is a pretty solid response to this argument. Gato Fumador responses, I've been getting progressives. You helped elect a single Virginia state delegate in 2021. Everyone else you've worked with has lost. Anyway, I knew that was going to be a point of controversy.
I saw somebody say, like, maybe it's just that progressives can't get elected. And I'm sorry, even though I fuck with AOC, I fuck with Bernie. But if they ain't getting elected, you can't just be like, it's Z's fault.
Because obviously nobody likes to be outed as taking money from the Democratic Party. But
who's taking money from the Democratic Party? Again, saying shit that he has no idea what he's talking about.
But yeah, one key thing that's come out of this, by the way, every person mentioned the Wired article funded by PAC and using Bernie Sanders as a straw man to discredit the article. Anyway, this was the short and sweet summary. Influencers including communication about the program and in some cases an onboarding session for those receiving payments from the 1630 fund, including Olivia Giuliana, David Pacman. Scoop, a powerful dark money group is secretly funding high-profile Democratic Party influence.
I love how you just take in shit that makes you feel good and you be like, yeah, this is fact. Like, that's just so interesting to me.
Influencers, big liberal content creators are being paid up to $8,000 a month to push party messaging. But the problem is
big liberal, and it's not. It's the small ones that's getting paid.
The goals of the Democratic Party are
why? Because if you're a big content creator, what the fuck is $8,000 a month gonna do for you? I don't know, because I ain't got none, but don't sponsorships give you like $20,000 to promote a product or some shit like that? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But What is $8,000 going to do for a big content creator? That's nothing. Now, for me, my life will be changed if I had $8,000 a month to alleviate my finances to create content. My life will be changed if I got $8,000 a month. So, excuse me?
Not to actually do something right by the working class, okay? If that was their goal and they were funding this network of content creators, then sure, it's normal. It's good. The Republicans do it all the time. But we shouldn't be demanding a network of Charlie Kirks, a network of
Are you saying that because they're liars, or are you saying that because it is the same thing that they do? Like Charlie Kirk gets fun. Again, he's saying the DNC funds these. DNC ain't giving shit to UFA. DNC ain't giving shit to Chorus. There's no affiliation. And I would think that they would have to disclose that information when I'm sure in the contract it says they have no affiliation, or if it doesn't, Brian went out and put his career on the line to say that we have no funding or affiliation with the DNC. And their website don't even say anything about the DNC. And UFA does state that we want to get people voted to registered to vote, but the DNC is not giving us money. Z was on CNN and straight up said, like, hey, I need to talk to Ken Martin so we can get some help from the DNC, because we're grassroots making money on our own. We just regular people trying to make it work.
Mercenary Charlie Kirks, but blue MAGA style. Okay?
I wonder what he mean by that.
When people came to me about the whole Joe Rogan of the left, we need a Joe Rogan of the left, all this shit, okay? I kept repeating over and over again, it's not a Joe Rogan of the left situation. Like, the problem is larger than this, okay? The problem is far more consequential than this. Like, yes, you're right. All of these people, all of the political grifters on the right are in some way, shape, or form a part of this infrastructure that the Republicans have designed, and they're far better.
Yeah, and the problem is that when you're on the right, you have to fucking lie. Like, these people can't be honest about the way they feel, because most of America wouldn't jive with it. So they have to distort the truth to push their narrative out, which is why some people succumb to that. People love conspiracy theories. People fall for things that they don't understand. It's easy to sway them. The internet has people not thinking critically about a lot of things. They think because it's published that it's true, or they think because the president just says it out his mouth that it's a fact. Even though I thought the rule was politicians lie. Donald Trump has taken that to the umpteenth exponent. I don't fucking know, but we're just in a different time now where lying is just not being caught in any way.
Then the Democrats are. They're on the ball when it comes to like farming out talent from independent media, right? They do it. They 100% do it. Okay, this is a thing that they do. But the major issue here is that when they're farming out talent from the right, from independent spheres and whatnot, they actually still try to offer treats to the base. Democrats, on the other hand, don't do that. They're constantly in a defensive posture. They don't have any discernible policies that you can identify them with. These are major issues that you cannot overcome. The greatest example of this is the last election cycle. Kamala Harris's policies for an angry base of support was basically to say, you shouldn't be. We're not going to fix any of these issues. We don't even have any real serious issues at all. You should just be afraid of the Republicans, which there is truth to that sentiment, right? Like, you should be afraid of Republicans. I kept repeating that over and over again as well, but it didn't matter because they were constantly running in the direction of right-wing ideology, thinking that they were going to be able to pick away some of these Republicans in the base, some of these Republican voters, and bring them to the Democratic Party. It didn't work that way, right? It was a failure. She out-money spent the Trump administration by massive margins. She outraised the Trump admin by big margins, but it didn't matter. Because no matter how much money you dump, no matter how much you're in front of people's eyeballs, no matter how much you can get their attention, it still doesn't matter if the policies that you are getting in front of them with are dog shit. Okay? That's it.
Noah, I don't know exactly why he doesn't. Like, people like Pondering Politics, Josiah, he doesn't do foreign policy either. And I don't either. Like, I know I can talk more about domestic stuff. I don't think it's I think some people just don't have a strong opinion on it, so they don't say anything. Like, I don't have any content talking about Israel-Palestine. And my personal reason, I don't understand it. It's just so much history and lore behind it. I don't have the time to look into it to be making any opinions. And I don't feel right doing that. I don't know. That shit goes back so far, and I don't have the time to look into it. I don't have an opinion on Israel-Palestine. I don't like it. All I know is it seems like whatever the fuck Israel's doing is fucked up. But you don't see any content on me talking about it because I'm not informed enough. I don't think that excuse will fly for people like Pac-Man, but he might not have a strong opinion too, but maybe he don't like. I think some people just not really familiar with foreign policy, and I'm one of those people. I could talk about domestic policy way more confidently. I don't have enough confidence to talk about that shit because it's too much. Even like Ukraine and Russia, that's kind of easier to understand what's happening. It's not as deeply rooted as the Israel-Palestine thing. So I think it's easier to understand that conflict, but that shit is so deep. I can't I don't have the time to research it enough to be able to stake out a strong opinion. And like I said, Josiah also, he doesn't cover foreign policy stuff. And I think just some people, it's just not their area of expertise. So why put your foot in your mouth saying something if you don't really know what you're talking about? Either way it goes, some people be like, oh, well, you should be on the side of it's a genocide. And it's like, I don't know enough to say it's a genocide. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the problem. If you say something like that, it's like, I'm not comfortable saying it. Even Bernie Sanders didn't call it a genocide. And you got Crystal Ball like, how dare you, Bernie? I'm so disappointed in you. And all these people upset at Bernie for not saying it's a genocide. It's like, bro, y'all mad over the term. He even said that what was going on is terrible and they're committing war crimes and Netanyahu's a criminal. And it was still like, Bernie, how could you? You betrayed us. It's like, bro, come the fuck on. Like, I'm not saying that shit don't matter, but y'all are letting this ruin the lives of us at home, bro. Like, y'all dividing us over what's happening over there versus us right here dealing with Trump, and y'all like, fuck you. You ain't saying it's a genocide. That's weird to me.
You can burn $1 billion. You can spend $1 billion saying, I'm a small business. I'm going to give $50,000 in tax credits to small businesses. But that's not an impactful message. That's not a good policy that you can be identified with, right? That's not like a holistic message. That's not something that you can actually present to as broad a base as possible. This is part of the reason why I like universal programs. And I kept repeating this over and over again throughout the campaign, and Democrats yelled at me for it. They were like, you're attacking Kamala Harris, and you're the reason why she's losing, blah, blah, blah. All this shit, you're the reason why she lost. Anyway, Mitch Voter says, I always thought the Dem influencer hyping Biden felt like reassuring middle-aged people that Biden had young support rather than actually expand his appeal and outreach to young Dem voters, which is true. That is precisely what these guys do. Olivia does this role. Like, this is her role. Her goal is not dissimilar to Charlie Kirk in that same vein. Like, Charlie Kirk only recently started reaching a younger audience because of TikTok. But for the majority of his career, his goal was to get money. His goal was to get money from right-wing Republican mega donors like Foster Freeze and basically lie to them that they were making an impact with the youth vote. Okay, only until TikTok, college campus like debate, the college campus debate videos did Charlie Kirk actually start securing some kind of prominence in a younger audience. And that wasn't because of Charlie Kirk either. That was because there was a dramatic shift happening within the right-wing youth. Okay, that wasn't because of Charlie Kirk. Trump might say it's because of Charlie Kirk, but it is a broader systemic failure born out of the way that the Democrats have presented themselves to the youth and just the way that they have been completely unable to address any of these issues like the affordability crisis and whatnot. Whereas Donald Trump was seen as a mover and shaker in this area. He said, I'm going to be a mal.
Noah, you just hit the nail on the head. He said, it does suck that the Republicans get to totally skate on that issue, but Dems are going to target 2028 nominees on it hardcore. It's horrific, but as you say, it's not worth losing 28 and fixing Trump policies over. Exactly. Like, when you're on the right, you can feel however you want about that conflict, and you ain't going to get ousted and yelled at from the rooftops about how you feel about it. Except for Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, I guess. But either way, you're right. The left will say, you're not even, you fuck you. You don't have anything to do with us. You don't even align. And it's like, bro, I just don't know much about it, or I just don't they either don't know anything about it and don't have an opinion, or they just don't agree that it's a genocide, and it's like, fuck you. No. It's like, bro, I mean, hopefully those people still go vote for, whoever the candidate is in the general election, or hopefully they get to be in the primary, but it's just, it's weird to me. But like I said, when it looks bad, when it shit gets online and everybody's attacking one another, like this Taylor Lorenz fucking idiot is attacking your own for reasons that don't make sense. But again, I just don't think people like Hassan and Taylor, they're not liberal. They don't believe in, I ain't gonna say democracy, but they don't believe in what America is at this point in time. They want to change it. So unless y'all gonna decide to just up and do a revolution, y'all need to shut the fuck up or just vote Vote for who you want in the fucking primaries, or shut the fuck up. And if they don't win, don't shit on the person that won because they won. Like, don't shit on them. Just shut the fuck up.
I'm going to hatch it through these institutions that haven't helped you, right? And that's why he was able to make an impact, especially with young people. Now, that impact is whittling away because young people who were too young to remember the COVID era, okay, young people who were too young to remember what Trump 1 looked like, that became like more invested in politics because now they're 18 plus, right? This past election cycle, were willing to take a gamble again with Donald Trump, okay? That's it. There were a lot of young people who were willing to take a gamble. It's part of that is COVID. Part of that is having lockdowns in your more formative years throughout your adolescence when you're supposed to be like around other people and like, you know, going down the wrong rabbit holes, right? That's part of it. I mean, it's a massive, massive issue, right? In any case, the Democrats are not going to solve this problem by just like simply putting a ton of money into content creators who do not make this impact, who do not have this impact. They need to try to figure out why some content creators do actually have staying power in this space. Not to hype myself up too much, but, you know, why is it that so many of these other guys don't actually have that motion? Why is it that they don't have this kind of motion with young people in general? Why is it that some of these guys simply do not have any staying power amongst the youth at all? It's because they are there to defend the Democratic Party. Whereas on the Republican media ecosystem, the fake independent Republican content creators are in tune with the base's demands. That's why the Jeffrey Epstein stuff was like a big point of controversy, a big point of drama, because the base was demanding more information. And the administration was like, for the first time ever, not giving them that treat. And that's why they were like, what the fuck do you mean you're not going to give us the Jeffrey Epstein details? Hold on now. And the Trump administration did what? Find other red meat to throw at the base. Instead of just being like, all right, first they behave like Democrats. First they panicked and behaved like Democrats. And they kept saying,
behave like Democrats. Like I said, like, I'm not saying anybody that's have left ideologies that they have to be like, yes, the Democrats are perfect. They don't do nothing wrong. Like, I criticize they dumbasses all the time. I think they need to fund UFA. You know what I'm saying? I think they need to stop being so fucking weak. I think Gavin Newsom's been doing a great job, but a lot of them have been weak, like holding up them fucking signs at the State of the Union and shit like that. Like, they should have been raising hell and got kicked out as a whole. Isn't it raising signs and shit? That shit weak. Hakeem Jeffries is weak. Like, it's shit you could say about the Democrat Party. But for the most part, I think they align with things you believe in, for the most part. And then you just let this conflict that's happening in the country that you aren't being affected by keep you from your own country thriving. You know, Hassan never supported Kamala publicly. He claims he voted for her. I don't know if I believe that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But you didn't like, you have a big following. You didn't tell, he has a bigger following than the number of people that it would have took to have Kamala win. She lost by like 250-some thousand votes between two or three states. So it's just like, I'm not saying Hassan's the reason we lost, but I'm saying that, like, you didn't tell people to support the candidate because it wasn't the person that you wanted. I'm sorry. It's not that serious. Like, I don't want to deal with somebody like Trump.
oh, this is not a real thing. This is not a real thing. Don't care about this. If you care about this, you're stupid. And then everyone was like, the fuck do you mean? You told us to care about this. So then they turned around and tried to find different things to make people pay attention to, like Obama, remember Obama. And now they're moving on from the conversation a little bit. I think it'll still come back. But ultimately, the Republicans they make better assessments about their base's interest. They try to find things that they care about and offer them red meat. I think that this method that the Democrats are deploying here by using like Brian Tyler Cohen and all these other people, especially in this like incredibly shady way, is only effective if the Democrats are willing and able to change their attitude. If the Democratic Party unironically decides that they are the Medicare for all party, okay? If they decide that they are the anti-Israel, anti-genocide party, for example, it sounds laughable to even bring this up because you're like, they're never going to do that. But
you see what I'm saying? Like, everything revolves around Israel. Like, why is that the end-all, be-all? People within the Democratic Party disagree on that. Some of them have stronger feelings about it than others. Why is that the line being drawn? I just truly don't get it.
That they are the anti-Israel, anti-genocide party, for example. It sounds laughable to even bring this up because you're like, they're never going to do that. But if they were to do that, and then they pumped all of these content creators who will be loyal soldiers that defend the Dems regardless, then they could actually make an impact. Otherwise, this is no different than having $1 billion fucking dollars that you burned with messaging bad policies and putting bad policies in front of people and then losing the election in the same.
Yeah, that's fair. Noah, though, I do think there's a world where you can be like, yes, it's a genocide. Yes, it's genocide. And they're only saying that to cater to people. Isn't there a world where you could be like, yes, it's a genocide just to cater to the far left, and then you might lose people? Granted, now, I'm not going to not vote for somebody because that's their stance. Personally, I'm not going to do that. So I think there's a world, though, where a person could lie about how they feel about it just to get the far left to shut the fuck up.
Same exact way that they lost the election last time around. That's it. The fact that some of you think that I'm a young person that can have the political leanings of Bernie Sanders is part of the reason we lost many young men in droves. I'm not being paid to speak my beliefs. I just don't let you all bully me for being who I am. Don't like it tough. I haven't been paid a dime to do anything in Texas politics, by the way. It turns out she was. Don't know who else to let folks. There's a subplot in politics happening because apparently someone's paying GOP influence.
And yeah, and if we didn't have Trump, if Kamala was president, Netanyahu wouldn't be running her. Even like everybody want to shit on Byron, but Byron, I was gonna say Byron. Biden fucking excommunicado Netanyahu. Like I don't know why I'm sorry. He didn't excommunicate Netanyahu, but he was tougher than Trump. Trump is getting played. And I don't know why everybody like, oh, Kamala can't stand up. I'm like, how do y'all just not see behind this facade of all you got to do is stroke Trump's ego and he's going to let you do whatever the fuck you want? When has that not been the case? Who hasn't stroked Trump's ego when he didn't do something for them? They probably told fucking Ghislaine to say that shit about Trump, and now she's in a minimum security prison, which don't happen for sex offenders. Because she said Trump didn't do anything. It's just like, come the fuck on, bro. All you got to do is be nice to this motherfucker.
Texas say specific things about Texas politics because influencers in Texas have to disclose if they're being paid for political posts. It's just crazy that she like talked about how she wasn't paid for this shit at all for the longest goddamn time. Why are you trying to start a war?
She wasn't. These people aren't paid for what they post.
In the left, just because Pac-Man and BTC aren't as left as you are, but isn't it good to help other creators on the left? Pac-Man isn't even in there. Why are you lying? Wait, what? 26-month subscriber? I'm not. I don't want to start a war between the left, okay? First of all, I'm sorry. One of the most pressing issues right now is Israel, okay?
And you see what everything goes down to Israel. And as a normal person in the world, which I don't know to Hassan's level of engagement with everyday people, like in real life, not these online folks, because I even know that me being online to the extent that I am to know people like Hassan is more than the average person. I'm aware of that fact. Most common people either A, don't know really shit about the Israel conflict or don't care about it that much. I guarantee you, if you poll most average voter, I think even in the exit polls, like Israel-Palestine was not even in the top 3 or 5 of people's voting decision. Like, nobody went in there like, man, I hope this person, like, I'm not saying nobody, but most people not in there like, man, I hope whoever's president ends Israel-Palestine war. Like, this is not the most pressing issue for most average people. It's just not. There is a group of people that do care about this a whole lot, but most people don't give a fuck about that. What everybody talking about? Inflation. Everybody has been talking about the price of groceries, gas, inflation, immigration. Nobody is talking about the fucking Israel-Palestine thing. I don't know why. There's the most pressing issue. To who? To you?
An unimaginably popular issue to hold on to. And if you're an independent content creator that's being paid to defend the Democratic Party and you don't actually disclose that information and you also simultaneously never say anything about the most popular issue that you could be on board with, then obviously I'm going to take issue with that, because I'm going to take issue with that for 2 reasons. One, because it's immoral, in my opinion, to stay quiet in the face of such tremendous injustice. But beyond the immorality of it all, it's also insane.
Nah, they ain't sending. JB not finna go for that shit. He ain't sending nobody over here, bro. Ain't nobody coming to Chicago.
It's also stupid from a political point of view. If you want the Democrats to win, if you're a blue no matter who type of person, why the f aren't you yelling at the influencers that refuse to speak on this? And why the f aren't you yelling at the goddamn...
It's just crazy that, like, it's just so fucking weird. You know what I care about most is the cost of housing. And you know who was going to try to do something about that immediately? Kamala Harris. I give a fuck about, I mean, yes, everybody has their problems, but I'm not sitting here telling other people like, why the most pressing issue is inflation and housing. Some people ain't give a fuck about inflation because they got money. But bro, for you to sit here and act like the world is supposed to put Israel-Palestine over their own personal self-survival is insane, bro. That's insane. I was super ecstatic to vote for Kamala when she had a plan for housing. That is what I care the fucking most about, bro. And this motherfucker's like, how you gonna get a Democrat if they don't say anything about Israel Palestine? Then no, it's like, what? This is crazy to me.
Party that refuses to speak and communicate on this from a partisan perspective. You know what I mean? I know, but they aren't Democrats. What are you saying? This is the problem, because the Democrat base, okay, the Democrat base's opinion, the opinion that you hold that like the party is infallible, we must defend it, is the reason why the party gets away with just being bad, okay? The party gets away with being a corporate subsidized, lighter version of the Republicans. We need the party to fight, okay? We need the party to fight for your rights, my rights, everybody else's rights. We need the party to actively combat growing fascism in this country. This is not a joke. You know, it's happening right now every single day. The issue is the goal of these guys is to basically delude the masses into thinking that it's good. It's good that the Dems are not saying anything about Gaza, you know? You shouldn't care about that at all. Look, Donald Trump is stupid. He's going to die any moment now. Like, and of course they arrive at like correct issues with regular frequency because like ultimately
I can't do this, man, no more. He's finna piss me off, bro. Like it's just so I don't know if the word is selfish, but in a sense it is selfish to me, in my opinion. It's a form of selfishness to, as somebody that's pretty well off, and honestly, it might be telling to his way of thinking about this conflict, because to be fair, though, there are people that aren't as well off as Hassan, but that care. But to me, it's like, you don't have to worry about buying a home. You don't have to worry about benefits being taken from you. Immigration isn't affecting you in any way, shape, or form, for real. Inflation isn't as big of a factor for you because you got money. So it's just like, for you to be acting like the most pressing issue is a war that you honestly don't have big control over. And there's a lot of nuance to what's going on over there as far as America's relationship with Israel is more than just black and white. And, you know, it still hasn't even been legally declared a genocide. It's just like, for that to be the most pressing issue is strange to me. It's just strange to me. I don't get it. It is a purity test of social left. They created their own trap. Yes, he was born a Muslim, so he's going to be sensitive to Palestine. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But if you're going to be in America and you want us to care more about that than people's rights and benefits being taken from them, get the fuck out of here. How you going to tell that to somebody that's getting their Medicaid took from them? How you going to tell that to somebody that's getting their link took from them? How you going to tell somebody that's getting abortion taken from them? It's just like, how the fuck are they supposed to care about that shit? It just makes no sense.